Welcome in or welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing to read the Two Paths scripture. And we are on chapter 8, the healing of wounded Eros, love after loss, betrayal, and grief, from the book of the Sacred Bond. Alright, so we're just going to jump right in. Grief is not the opposite of love. It is love's truest expression in the face of loss. To grieve deeply is to have loved truly. And the one who says, "I will not grieve so that I will not hurt," has decided in advance that they will not love. This is the greater loss. The Remembrancers from the Consolation Writings. Every walker who loves long enough will come eventually to this chapter, the ending of love, whether through death, separation, betrayal, or the quiet dissolution of what once was bright, is among the most universal of human experiences. The two worlds path does not pretend otherwise, and it does not offer false comfort. It offers instead what is true. Grief is the necessary companion of deep love. Where there is no grief, there was no love of death. The walker who grieves the loss of a bond is a walker who loved genuinely, and their grief is the last and most honest act of that love. I just keep hearing like banging on doors. It's like, I don't know what is going on, but like the cops were like all over last night and my neighbors. Anyways, and it was like after I heard like mad loud banging, but they weren't, it was in like the next building over, so like I shouldn't have heard banging on the doors. It was very strange. Anyways, the three passages of love grief. The path names three passages through which grief typically moves, though not always in the same order, not always in the same duration, and often in a spiral rather than a straight line. The first passage, the dissolution. This is the immediate aftermath of loss, the rawness, the shock, the particular exhaustion of a self that has been suddenly required to be one where it was two. The walker in the dissolution needs only one thing: to be allowed to be in pain without being rushed through it. The path calls the community to offer presence, not solutions, and silence held with love, rather than words that cannot contain what they are asked to contain. Alright. Oh, I thought there was like something on my face. I saw on my phone. Okay. The first passage, okay, we remember that. The second passage, the reckoning. When the rawness of the dissolution has softened enough to permit reflection, the walker enters the reckoning, the honest examination of what the bond truly was. What was genuinely present in it? What was projection or wishful seeing? What did the walker bring to the bond, including the parts they are less comfortable examining? What was done to the walker that they did not deserve? The reckoning asks for unflinching honesty in both directions. Neither the self-criticism that makes all loss the walker's fault, nor the blame that makes all loss entirely the other's fault. Both distortions prevent the learning that the reckoning exists to make possible. The third passage, the restoration. The walker does not forget. The walker does not erase. The walker integrates, brings the experience of the bond, the grief of its ending, and the learning of the reckoning into themselves as a fuller version of who they are. The walker who has passed through the dissolution and the reckoning and arrived at the restoration has not been diminished by loss. They have been expanded by it. They are more, not less, for having loved and grieved and continued. The elder instructors taught, "You are not less than you were before. You are everything you were before, plus the knowledge of what it is to love that deeply and to survive its ending. Do not underestimate what that knowledge is worth." Part 2. The rite of release. The path offers a formal, symbolic practice for releasing a bond that has ended. The rite of release. It is performed when the walker is ready, not in the rawness of dissolution, but in the later stages of the reckoning, when the honest examination has proceeded far enough to make intentional release meaningful. The walker prepares a letter to the person from whom the bond has been severed, a full, honest, unreserved letter in which everything unsaid is said. The letter is not composed for the other person's reading. It is composed for the walker's clarity. Into it goes grief, anger, gratitude, sorrow, regret, love, everything that has been living unspoken in the body of the walker since the bond ended. The letter may be burned in a ritual fire in the presence of witnesses, or kept sealed and never sent, or buried in the earth. Whatever the walker's tradition supports as a symbolic act of completion, the act of the fire or the earth receives what the walker has carried and takes it into transformation. The token of the bond, a ring, a gift, an object carrying the resonance of the love, is returned, repurposed, or laid to rest in whatever way honors both what it was and the reality that what it was is complete. This is not a statement of hatred, but of honesty. The chapter is closed. The token's meaning is transformed. The walker steps forward with their hands unencumbered. The witnesses who attend the rite of release speak the truth of the walker's worth, not to contradict the grief, but to ensure that the walker does not carry a false story of their own unlovability out of the rite and into the life ahead. So, multiple things just came up for me as I was reading this, and I feel like I do need to talk about them just to kind of like get it out of the way, because it's like some lingering. So, if you've been following my content thoroughly, you were here for the whole frog romance scammer thing. That situation was very complex, very confusing, and I was definitely under like serious psychological warfare and spiritual warfare at the time. I mean, I feel like I still am, but it's like it's just definitely not as bad, because they literally had, like, I ended up finding out from the geologist, Stefan Burns, they were, like, emitting some sound frequency thing, like, for the period of, it was, like, 3 months of whatever, like, that roller coaster ride was going on. But then, you know, like, there was, like, multiple parties involved that were feeding the narrative. So, like, in the last chapter where we talked about, like, getting, getting scammed by somebody, like, pretending to be into you or whatever to get money or exploit you in whatever way. It was saying, like, not to blame yourself, but blame whoever was the deceiver. In that situation, I honestly don't know what was really going on at the end of the day. So I want to make it very clear that, I was upset about the whole thing and everything. But I tried to be as cool as possible about it because, like, I really don't like jumping to conclusions. Although, like, that whole situation, it's like, I thought I was, like, I found my soulmate, like, for real. And, I mean, it was just so weird. Like, everything was just bizarre and lined up. And even now, it's still happening where it's, like, just weird things symbolically. It's, like, the same. It's trippy. It's real trippy, and it's almost like a smack in the face because, there's no reciprocation. So it's almost like the person is doing it purposely to fuck with me, but I can't assume that. And I want to make that clear as a lesson here for other people. Because my eyeliner is just melting away. I also want to make it clear that, I try my best to be cool. I really love this person's community, and I love their content. And I think they're probably one of the coolest people I've ever came across in my entire existence. Other than the fact of, they're really a bully and were fucking with me. But, so I try to remain cool and stuff and be supportive as, like, a friend, because I did say that at one point. I was like, just so you know, I could still be willing to be, your friend, or, I mean, I wouldn't even call myself, like, anybody's friend, but you know what I mean, like a supporter, okay, follower, supporter, whatever, of his mission, of his content. But yeah, like, with this grieving thing, it's extremely hard when you're in a situation, especially like that, with, like, unreciprocated, intense feelings, because it's like, I just saw this, like, orchestra of grand display of, like, this mesmerizing story of, like, true love. It's like, that person didn't see that the other way around. And that's happened to me multiple times, like, pretty much the only people I've ever liked me, it was like, they were just either desperate or, like, trying to exploit me for whatever stupid reason, or, like, they just had some preconceived notion of me, which I think I was doing that to an extent with this person, like, with the whole Joker and Harley Quinn thing. It was just weird with, like, how the Joker's missing the eye, and, like, there was just so much weird shit going on with that. But yeah, I don't know. So I just want to make that clear that, like, and then there was the point where I was saying, like, I don't support anybody that I said previously I thought would be a good leader, because there was, like, a few people that I was talking about, all the vapors, and, like, this person was one of them. I still kind of, like, stand by that, but not, like, I feel like that's this person's destiny, is to become a leader, like, or I feel like they already are in their community, but, like, they're just their own kind, and, I just, I get with teenagers and children, with the vaping and the smoking and stuff, they're highly influenced, especially by males. I just think there's a lot of harm going on there, so that's the only reason I said that. I didn't mean to be offensive to anybody or, like, overstep any boundaries, but, like, my main thing is to try to stick up for the children and the teenagers and stuff. I'm not a perfect role model myself, but I have grown immensely over the last year, like, leaps and bounds, and I'm well aware of that. And, my standards have gone up so much with, I mean, I feel like my standards were always high with how to conduct yourself, but I was so heavily enthralled in depression and grief and like just psychosis, basically, under the influence of like demonic energies and shit. Like, people just manipulating me nonstop, not to toss blame on everybody else, because I allowed myself to be susceptible to their attacks by lowering my vibrations, by partaking in substances and activities that were not up to par with my soul's mission. Okay, so that's all I gotta say about that. You know, like, I have no hard feelings towards any of these people. I don't know what really was going on. I have my suspicions. You know, I don't remember all the details 100%, but like, you know, I'm sure I could go back in my videos and be like, oh my god, you know, like, it's probably like a horror show to watch that, but I feel like it's, you know, a good example of like going through something really embarrassing or really like hard or difficult, and being able to still show your face and still be okay. Like, you know, that takes a lot, and I feel like a lot of people get discouraged and they just give up on life after they go through something difficult, whether it be like similar to what I went through or like, you know, whatever else. And so, yeah. Oh, and also, like, I know at one point I mentioned how, like, the one thing that was really, the only thing that I mentioned other than the vaping and the leader thing that upset me really was just the fact that I had sent my story and like a video, like a ghost video, and oh geez, by the way, this is weird as hell. I got poison ivy like all over what was it, on my right hand, which is like your giving hands. That was like, I was giving too much away, so like I had to stop. And then all of a sudden on this finger where I was wearing that snake ring, which had like some deep layered meaning for me, like particularly involving like my children's father. And then, but this, like, so maybe I was allergic to the metal, or somebody hexed and cursed my ring, I don't know. But it's almost like a burn on there. And then this finger, which is my ring finger, all of a sudden got this same thing on it. And then like yesterday or 2 days ago, this one did. So it's like somebody's targeting my ring fingers. It's like, what are you fucking stupid people doing? I don't get it. Like, you took away everything from me. You know, you've put me through so much humiliation, so much torture. I get it. Y'all hate my guts. You know, you have some perception of me that I did you dirty, or I'm just this awful, god-awful, monstrous person. You know, and I don't know. Maybe I did do something fucked up to you. I honestly don't know. Maybe it was like a past life and you're holding a grudge and you just keep destiny swapping me or whatever, consciousness transferring me, which, yeah, that's a whole other story. I got like some kind of evidence about that as well. First of all, my childhood stories I shared with the swapping of the brains. Like, where the hell did I learn that from as a kid? And then there's this picture of me that my mom got done professionally. I was like 6 years old. And the book I just read, which I believe it's actually the Most High and the Holy Spirit that's talking through these compilations that I've come up with here. So the August Chronicle, whatever, I don't even know where it is, for the astrological stuff going on, okay? In the beginning, I was talking about how 30 years ago was when this last thing happened, which would have been about the time of this picture I'm talking about. In this picture, I remember, first of all, I'm holding a block. I don't know where the picture is, but I'm holding a block, and I remember I had a wart on my middle finger, which I've never gotten warts in my whole life. But for some reason I had, in which that's the Saturn finger, right? And in the book, it says something about Saturn. It's always Saturn. And so recently I got this, like, what I thought was a callus. And it very well might be, I'm not sure, but it's not a wart, because warts, like, get all, like, cauliflowery, and it's not like that. But then I was, like, messing with it a lot, and then it got, like, I think it got, like, infected, so I, like, set it on fire and stuff. But, like, anyways, it's just weird, like, what's going on with my hands. And then, like, this same finger, I'm almost positive, because I remember I'm holding the block in the picture very awkwardly. It's, like, on my middle finger. I feel like it was purposely done to show me as, like, almost like this is what's gonna happen to you again. Like, they're just gonna get what they want out of you and then reboot you back to being a 6-year-old while they all live their best lives. So there's something like that creepy going on here. Just theories, you know, but it's like, I can feel it in my gut that they've done this before. And like I said, you know, like, my childhood stories, like, anyways, so back to what I was saying. I sent my stories in to their email. I never got a response back, but then they were, like, doing other people's stuff, but then they just changed up their content, stopped doing, like, near-death experiences. But, like, you know, they never responded to me. They even say, like, thanks, but we're not interested in reading your story, which that's unprofessional. But also, like, I don't know how many, you know, they might have been getting a flood of emails, but at the same time, they literally said on multiple episodes, like, we don't really have any emails, send your emails in, guys, we need stories. And then he even, the main dude, I don't even want to say his name, he, like, no disrespect or anything, but I'm just saying, like, he even made his own story through, like, AI or whatever. So I was like, you know, it felt rude or whatever. But I do not want y'all, if you are watching this, I do not want y'all to read my story anymore. Okay? I also sent, like a Oracle, like, download that I got, like, when I did, like, an end of the world reading. It was very strong, like, what? And that was the whole thing with, like, the wheelchair at the end and the crown. And then he, like, went to, what was it, Madison Cemetery or something? Some asylum or something, I don't remember. And he, like, bought a wheelchair for the place, for them, because he heard that they only had, like, crappy ones. And then he ended up making this, like, kind of badass artwork of him in a wheelchair with, like, no face. And, like, my profile picture is, like, a harlequin with no face, and then the whole wheelchair thing. But, like, you know, people are obviously gonna be like, oh, it's just a coincidence, you can't make everything about yourself. But it was just very weird, okay? Because the fucking wheelchair thing got brought up, like, 12 times. And then Steven Spielberg put it in his movie, the Disclosure movie, the alien at the end comes rolling out in a wheelchair. So, you know, there's just so much weird shit going on that, like, it's not. That's why in my last video, or, like, one of my recent videos, I said, like, I don't really believe that anything I've experienced or said or whatever was really spiritual psychosis. It was, like, people fucking with me, energy weapons and shit, and also just really weird shit going on that I'm involved in heavily for some reason. You know, I don't think my wicked stepmother would have got on her knees and started crying and begging me for forgiveness for no reason after that bitch tortured me for fucking years. Okay? And then said, I know, Tara, I know. And I was like, what do you know? Like, I don't know what the fuck you know. What are you talking about? And she just said, I know. And then she got on her knees and begged me for forgiveness. So, you know, so there's just something weird that's been going on for a long time. And it's like everybody knows except for me. Nobody wants to clue me in on anything. And it's like everyone's just like laughing at me in the background, or like plotting against me, or like I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's also somebody was saying, like, one of the spirits was telling me, like, people are scared of me. They're scared of what I will do once I remember whatever, or like, and yeah, I don't know. This is like, dude, I mean, I've experienced myself doing some crazy shit, like, you know, magically or whatever, but I don't even know if that's real, or if it's just some Truman Show crap that they're pulling anyways. So, it's not like, you know, it's not like I'm out here like the Enchantress from the Harley Quinn movie, Dr. Moon and all that shit. Like, it's not like I'm out here like consciously teleporting and stuff like that. There are, like, fingerprints on my ceiling, and, like, marks on my ceiling, which is really creepy. Like, my ceilings are tall, like, you can't, if you stand, like, you're not gonna, it's, like, literally on my whole ceiling, as if somebody's, like, crawling on my fucking ceiling. But anyways, enough about me. I don't want to talk about me anymore. I really want to just... This is about grief and forgiveness, so that's what we're doing here. I just wanted to make those things clear. Okay? Trying to, you know, reconcile pact here. There was always this, like, background noise of, like, I did something. It felt like grudges being held against me. Like, I did something to somebody that I don't know about. That they were holding it against me and like secretly fucking despising me in the background. So whatever that is, like, you know, sorry for, you know, whatever might have happened. I have no clue, because nobody will talk to me or tell me anything. And yeah, it's all just a bunch of fucking bullshit. Anyways, y'all can just seriously fuck off at this point. But yeah, I'm not playing games with anybody. I lost all hope for love. I don't care about love anymore with any of that shit. I just want it all to end, honestly. All this tyranny and suffering and oppression, it's not a life worth living at all. And it makes me extremely sad to say that. It breaks my heart, what's left of it. But this is no way to live for anybody. So, that's how I feel. Okay? Part 3 on forgiveness. The path teaches on the subject of forgiveness what it considers one of the most important and most commonly misunderstood doctrines. Forgiveness is not reconciliation, not permission, and not forgetting. So that's my main thing, is like, because by what I just said, people are probably like, oh, she's suicidal or whatever. It's like, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that this is bullshit. People say, like, appreciate what you have, and, like, you need to see the brighter picture. No, I need to stop tolerating bullshit, and so do all of you, who aren't the perpetuators of the bullshit, okay? So, you know, this ain't no place for generations and legacies to occur. For, like, generations to grow, legacies to thrive. This is actually hell. Forgiveness is not for the one who caused harm. It is for the walker. It is the refusal. Oh, oops, okay. Not permission and not forgetting. It is the release of the wound's claim on the walker's future. Forgiveness is not for the one who caused harm. It is for the walker. It is the refusal to allow the one who wounded you to also claim the rest of your life by living in you as a source of ongoing pain and preoccupation. It is the reclaiming of the internal space that was occupied by the wound, the anger, and the story of what was done, so that the walker may fill that space with something that serves their genuine flourishing. Forgiveness may take years. The path does not rush it. It does not demand it before its time. It simply names it as the destination and trusts the walker's own passage through the 3 passages to bring them there in the fullness of time. See, for me, I automatically forgive people. I don't have room in my heart to hold that shit. It doesn't mean I like you. It doesn't mean like it said, it doesn't mean permission. It doesn't mean forgetting. It's not reconciliation. But it's my heart still looks at you as I would anyone in the eyes of my nature, which is love, and my essence is love, which I believe everyone really is, but a lot of people just refuse to embody that, and it can be very hard in a cold, cruel world. But I always try to look at people from the perspective of they were a child at one point. What did they go through? How were they raised? That kind of thing. So I try to at least show some kind of understanding. The on the Tree of Life, Bina, the 3rd Sephiroth, and also the 4th, which is mercy, right? Alright, so anyways, so that the walker may fill that space with something that serves their genuine flourishing. Forgiveness may take years. The path does not rush it. It does not demand it before its time. It simply names it as the destination and trusts the walker's own passage through the 3 passages to bring them there in the fullness of time. Part 4, Returning to Love. The path affirms without reservation that a walker who has been broken by love may love again. But if you don't want to love again, you don't have to, okay? That's some bullshit that people try putting out there. These practitioners are trying to justify their actions against you with the dark arts by saying, because you close yourself off to new love. So now you're open target for them. No, you're not. If you don't want to be in a relationship with someone, you don't have to be. Path also talks about loving yourself, which is asexual. That's a form of love, right? Or platonic love. You don't have to have romantic love. Was that always my dream? Was that always something I wanted more than anything? It was definitely at the top of the list, okay? I'm not gonna fucking lie. I've always been a humanitarian. I've always want to be a hero and help save the world and make the world a better place. But at the end of the day, love, having romance, having true love has always been at the top of my list. Which all these people that hate me for whatever fucking reason know that, and that they love watching, setting up all these schemes and shit to fuck with me. It's I haven't had love ever, really, not really. So I've been starved of it, literally forever. I can imagine it's probably been centuries upon centuries, millennia even, maybe, how long they've been doing this shit to me. That's what one reader said, they've been doing this shit. In this lifetime alone, they murdered me 17 times, she was saying, as an infant. I don't know what's going on. But it's petty, it's bullshit. Y'all should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. It's really fucking pathetic. And I will be free someday. I will. So, we'll see. The path affirms without reservation that a walker has been broken by love may love again. The 7 seasons of sacred approach are available to any walker at any point in life, regardless of how many times love has been sought, found, lost, or grieved. There is no shame in a second bond or a third. There is no spiritual diminishment in a love found late in life or in the last season of it. Every beginning of love is a full beginning, not a consolation. The walker who returns to love after genuine loss carries something of immense value, the knowledge of what love costs, and the willingness, despite that knowledge, to love again. This is among the most courageous acts the path recognizes. Yeah, that is courageous after absolutely being pulverized with your mind, body, and soul. To be able to try again, I've done that too many times. It's not worth it anymore for me. See book 11, chapter 7, liminal navigation. And so I guess the last petal is gonna fall real soon. And what happens, I don't fucking know. They're gonna reboot me back to being a 6-year-old. Probably. Put me into a chicken. Who knows? Imprison me some more. They like to get your hopes up. As soon as you start feeling a little bit happy, that's when they come in with their fucking, what is it? That thing with the 3 prongs? Or no. That's a trident. The devil stick, what is that called? With the 2 prongs? Yeah, they'll come in with that and like poke me in the ass. Fucking set it on fire. Yep. It's like, what they don't get is like, there's nothing left to torture, dude. Like, you took everything. You took everything inside of me already. Like I said before, it's a brick wall in here. I still have feelings. I still cry. I still laugh a little bit sometimes. But my capacity to feel joy is like very dimmed. Like very dimmed. It's... Y'all won. Y'all won. You fucking destroyed me inside. Good job. Good job being little torturers. Little devils, fucking bitches. I hope you're fucking happy. At least somebody can be happy in this situation, right? God damn. Anyways. Blessed is the one who grieves, for they have loved. Blessed is the one who reckons honestly, for they will carry wisdom forward. Blessed is the one who releases, for they will love again with hands unencumbered. The wound is not the end of the story. It is where the story deepens. So it is witnessed, so it is held. The healing of wounded love prepares the walker for compassion, but compassion must never blur the difference between suffering and harm. The next chapter enters the most difficult terrain of the book, insisting that restoration, where possible, must be joined to professional care, accountability, and uncompromising protection. Alright, so the next the next book is basically about like PDF files and stuff like that. The doctrine of distorted desire, unwanted attraction, and the path of restoration. So they're also talking about, I guess, like people, like even commitment to both the dignity of those who suffer unwanted attractions and the absolute protection of all who might be harmed. So again, like, you know, like with the whole situation that I just explained, I wanted to make that very clear because I don't know if I made that person feel uncomfortable, and I really apologize if I did, because like I was seriously like under some type of fucking spell, some type of energy shit going on, and it was like the cosmos itself had woven this story that I couldn't have written better myself if I fucking actually tried like my hardest. Which, in my opinion, I am a pretty fucking good writer if I actually try. So, you know, it was like, you know, I had felt like I was in love all these other times, but it was nothing compared to that. So, but in the end, it was all just fucking delusion. And again, you know, like, it's, I want to say it's embarrassing, but I really don't give a fuck. Like, as far as for me, like, I'm not embarrassed. Like, I don't care, you know, like, I know my worth at the end of the day. I know my heart. I know my soul at the end of the day. I know who I am, and I'm proud of who I am in my heart of hearts. Yes, do I, like, fly off the handle sometimes when my boundaries are crossed? Yes. Do I maybe, you know, get a little loopy and woo-woo and under the influence of people's fucking black magic and shit sometimes? Yeah, but I've definitely gotten way better at that. Definitely gotten way better at that. But, you know, will I do my best to be a good friend if I can, or supporter, or whatever, of people who I feel like at least are coming off as downtrodden and shadow banned and stuff like that, and I feel like they have a good heart and they want to support the community. So yeah, I don't see that very often, so I am going to try to support that. But am I gonna be around forever? Probably not. You know, I gotta move on. It's a little painful to stick around. You know, I just wanted to get, like, no bygones be bygones. Like, I didn't want any bad vibes or whatever, so I was just trying to, like, ease my way out of there, you know, and, like, yeah. But I learned a lot, you know, I grew, whatever. They're probably gonna mind wipe me and fucking, like I said, put me in a 6-year-old again on the timeline. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the hell's going on. This shit sucks. Give me the Horse, the Avenger card. Justice, retribution, restoration, vigilance. I wish, man. This astrological alignments going on is supposedly the most rare shit that's ever happened that they can't even find looking back thousands of years. But again, that could be some more fucking Truman Show bullshit. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. But regardless, this story, based off of those alignments, is very profound in my opinion, and really teaches a lot of concepts and ideas that I didn't even really consider deeply until I was reading it. I was like, oh my god. So, you know, I definitely recommend watching those videos. If you haven't watched them, I'm going to be posting one every day. I already recorded all of it. There's 5 parts. I just got to record the 5th part today. I'm going to be posting that on either the 23rd or the 24th. I'm not sure yet. Elon Musk is supposedly releasing some satellites, some giant satellites into space, and then he's sending them down in the atmosphere to burn up, and then all the metal from it's going to, like, pollute everything, like Stefan Burns was saying. I was like, what is this? And he's doing that on the 24th. So, like, and that's the full moon. And then he was saying something about somebody else is trying to put up mirrors, like, all over in the atmosphere. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Are they trying to pull some magician shit with, like, my setup on my altar when I have the mirrors like reflecting back onto the people that are trying to send black magic or baneful magics to me. Like, are they trying to do something like that? I don't know. Or they're trying to cook us all alive, like what's his name, Sid from Toy Story with the magnifying glass. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I really don't believe these people have any real power. I think it's all smoke and mirrors, like literally smoke and mirrors. Or it's like the show, The Good Place, where they like pretend like they're like devils and demons, like torturing you. It's all just bullshit. Like it's illusions or whatever. You know, like they just put like mind illusions. Like they're not actually physically doing anything. It's just illusions. That's like what intuitive heart guidance, the blonde lady with the glasses talks about all the time. But yeah, so, you know, I have lots of theories, lots of ideas here, what's going on. At the end of the day, I'm releasing all of it. I'm wiping my hands of it. I'm done. I don't have the energy anymore to deal with this bullshit. I'm going to continue doing my North Node in Capricorn in the 11th house mission and trying to support the collective by providing information that I feel like would benefit them greatly, or y'all greatly. Does that mean anyone's gonna listen? Does that mean anyone gives a fuck? I don't fucking know. Probably not. But at the end of the day, I did what I did, and I did what I could. That's what I meant to say. I did what I could. I'm doing what I can. I'm not giving up. I want to give up, but I'm not. And whatever happens, happens, okay? Alright, that's the message. I know it was not a fun message. And, you know, it's fine. Huh. Oh, and in the astrology book, I keep forgetting the name of it. August Chronicles or something? The Reckoning in August. There's a total solar eclipse on August 12th. They mentioned something about reptiles, and then Ishmael Perez was talking about reptilians again in his most recent live. And I was comparing to DE2T, I'll just say, who I was just talking about, because he has the two tongues, right? It's actually what I pretty much based, or where I got the idea from this whole thing, is like Odin, because that's what he said. He did that after he passed away and came back. He was able to like talk to the other side, like see between worlds. So being two-tongued, not in the way of like being a manipulator or deceiver. He was saying in that way. I got inspired by that, and so I've always been into the Tree of Life, or I have been for a very long time before I even knew he existed. So the Tree of Life is based off of Odin and all of that. My Instagram channel used to be called The Tree of Life. That's like what I had under my name, my tag or whatever. But yeah, so, you know, I'm very much about all of that shit. But anyways, I was told at some point that I was going to end up with the king of the reptiles. But actually, and then I thought, like, he was like, it was weird because I found that frog. I think it was around the time my kid's father passed away. And then, like, DE2T ended up getting pew-pewed, which gunfight just came up. In reverse, which is weird, right? He ended up getting pew-pewed like a month later after my kid's father passed away. And then this frog came to me at the stream by my house with one of its eyes missing. And I like nursed it back to life. But anyway, my point is, frogs are amphibians. I thought they were reptiles, so I was always thinking like, oh, were they talking about him? Is he a reptilian? Is he a reptilian king? Because he does this voice and he sounds like what I would think the reptilian king would sound like. And then I went through this thing where I was like, is he really a Joker? Is he really like the Reptilian King? Has he done all this evil shit or whatever? And so I did like a baptism by fire with the little Joker thing. Like whoever represents the Joker, if it's him or if it's somebody else, whatever. And honestly, I was really thinking about my kid's father mainly when I was doing it. Because I felt like he was him reincarnated. Because like, the dying fetus shirt, cut off sleeves. It's just everything, like the aura and stuff, or not everything, definitely not everything, but spider thing and all that shit. Spider King. It's just a lot of weird stuff, right? But anyways, I did a baptism by fire with that, and when I did that, I heard like his voice, and it like hissed at me. Like a demonic like growl right in my ear. And I've seen him in the astral, which before that I never saw anybody in the astral ever. And the only other person after that I saw was the DLP. I'm not gonna say his fucking name either. If you know, you know who that is, okay? After this, I'm done talking about these people. No shade, nothing like that. I don't know what was really going on. Could have been people just trying to project themselves. It could be just elements of, people are multifaceted, they have many layers. Sometimes they are these Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Sometimes, it did say demon. He could have been demonic possession, like he could have been under some type of possession. I don't know. So, regardless, whatever it is, I'm done with all of it. Moving on, whatever that means for me, okay? I'm not gonna let people treat me like their little plaything, like their little pet. I'm all set with that, okay? Yeah, I mean, it's sad to me. It's like the Secret Garden. I saw that recently again. She's like telling her little cousin who was kept to think he was sickly and ill and kept in the dark and in bed because his father was so terrified of losing him, so he like kept him locked away. She told them the story. She found him because her parents got killed in an earthquake, and then she had to go live with them, and then she was exploring this grand mansion they lived in, and she found him, and she befriended him, and she ended up telling him this story about like some Indian prince or something, because I think she lived in India in like a palace, and she was talking about how, I just heard thunder clap. She talked about how like she could see the whole universe. There's a whole universe inside of you. And like that's how I felt like with this person. Like I could see that in them easily. But then, there is this element of like scariness. Like I don't know. Like I really don't. And like this little like element of like hatred towards me. Like I feel that like from everybody, and I don't know if it's just my own, if it's deception, like, from people trying to keep me isolated and away from everybody, out of jealousy or whatever, or just like, like they just want me to be nothing and do nothing, is what I was told, what I was shown, what I feel, what I've experienced. Regardless, I'm not saying, like, this person's made it clear that they're not into me anyways, okay? So, that's not the point. I'm just saying, I'm not doing a character assassination here, okay? I'm just trying to be open and honest about the weird shit that I've experienced. And in a way the best I can. Yeah. Alright. That's all I gotta say here. Yeah, that's gonna be me, I guess. I was just thinking, like, because I was shown, like, there's 2 paths that I could take, and, like, one of them's, like, running towards, like, a friends group or whatever. And then the other one is going into isolation, and then it showed, like, gravestones and stuff. I was like, okay, I guess that's probably where I'm going. Yeah, see, like, it's impossible in reverse. Like, it's not impossible. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna be a secret agency. Or the secret agency in reverse is gonna wipe my memory. They're gonna hunt me down. Send their dragon after me or something. Because I'm insane. They're gonna say I'm insane. And something about a castle, and they're never gonna find me. They're gonna lock me in a tower again. Like Catherine Aragon or whatever. Henry VIII, they said that was me. They locked her in the fucking tower, and then her heart got black. They, like, when she died, they wouldn't let her see her daughter. And when she died, they did a autopsy on her, and her heart was black. So, yeah. Spirit is throwing a little shade at this idealistic organization that's not calling them idiots. That's nice, but yeah, it's whatever, man. I don't know what's going on. Just like I said, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not trying to give my power away, or I rebuke all this bullshit. In the name of the Most High, Elohim Adonai, and the Holy Ghost is in the Moses. Don't get me fucking wrong. I don't condone any of this crap, and I'm not authorizing any